Welcome to Java 8 Jumpstart Part 2. My name is Donna Martin, and I'll be your instructor as we move through a lot of advanced concepts in Java. We'll be specifically dealing with some new features in Java 8. Let's start by talking about prerequisites for this course. We assume you're comfortable with the computer, and so you have the basics of what's covered in the Fundamentals of Operating Systems class. That if you do not have a programming background, that you have taken one of the Programming for Non-Programmers courses and feel comfortable with those concepts. And since this is Java 8 Jumpstart Part 2, you actually should have had those things accomplished before you took Java 8 Jumpstart Part 1. If you didn't take Part 1, then you need to look through the outline and make sure that you're comfortable with all of the concepts that are discussed in Part 1 before moving on into this particular course. In this class, of course, we're going to create Java programs, which we also did in Part 1. However, we're going to delve much deeper into some of the concepts of Java and the concepts of just object-oriented programming in general. We will be using Java 8 specific features such as the date-time programmer interface and lambda expressions. We also will utilize array lists and two-dimensional arrays, and you'll understand the difference. We're going to implement interfaces, we're going to ask the user for input, we're going to import a variety of packages and use those, and we are going to understand in depth, and we're going to use, not just understand, object-oriented design principles such as polymorphism, abstraction, inheritance, and encapsulation. All these things are very important features when we deal with any object-oriented language. A lot of times people get done with an object-oriented language and they understand syntax, but they don't really understand the big picture and really the strength of an object-oriented language. So once you complete this class, the question might be, well, what's next? When you've finished and have a very comfortable feeling with Java, you can move on to the Android programming classes. They assume a knowledge of Java before you start, and also any advanced programming language, whether it's object-oriented or not. But if you are going to be continuing on, you have a very solid standing in object-oriented programming. So if you needed to move on to learn the syntax of another object-oriented language, you'd be in very good shape. But you also need to realize that Java is, right now, the most popular programming language. So after this course is completed and you have a really solid feel for things and you've practiced, you will really be able to do a lot of things with Java itself. I want to thank you for joining me for this introductory module, but I also just want to thank you for taking this course. I think we have some very exciting things that we want to cover and get you really going in the world of programming in general, and specifically in the world of Java 8 programming. Thank you so much for joining me.